Hey, I'm just doing a little quick thing today. You know, in between all the big things, we do more little things. Today I'll be playing an old classic. It's an LP of a game I did my first long play on way back in 2013. I've learned a lot since then. Not so much about this game, but about the fact that even 30 years after a game has been made, someone will re-release it and make me look like a fool. But we won't be doing the HD one right now. For a couple reasons, but it's not that it isn't good. It's just not finished. So, you play as this miner dude. I think it's Milo Steamwitz or something, and he's doing a get-rich-quick scheme of getting basically the Star Trek tribbles. Maybe he thinks they're non-fungible. I don't know. But it just seemed like a funny thing to try to do now that this is in vogue, and yeah, like, I wasn't really expecting this to ever be released. If anything, I thought Commander Keen would get a re-release, but what would I know? Also, a ship is the Millennium Kiwi. Yeah, a lot of my favorite platforms, I realize, are very derivative in terms of story, but what do you play that for? Also, I think I just slammed into Earth. But, whatever. Apparently, near Earth, there was this big thing all the time, but then again, it looks like it takes place in the year 2121. So, I won't be alive by then, but if you see some guy running around in a Crystal Caves outfit that year, that's probably them cosplaying, because who knows how many times the Lost games get re-released these days, get unfinished early access treatment like the rest of gaming civilization by this point. It is a civilization. The object of this game is to get all the crystals, and I need to tell you this because when you get all the crystals, you're supposed to get a little green border around the screen. However, that's not going to show up in my DOS box. That's because it's like the outer edge of the monitor of a CRT that is only really capable of changing a few colors. I know at least one other game that does this. It was a Catacomb 3D Adventures, or also possibly Catacomb 3D, the original, but not Catacomb 1 and 2, but that border would change whenever you got hit, and it was like the only way you knew you were getting hit without looking at the face or something. Fruit will randomly spawn for points. Don't worry about getting points in this game. Points will not award you 1-ups. I'm just getting things to get things as is convenient, but you really don't need to do it. I'm just spicing up little gameplay a bit, but if you do not get hit, and you get to the exit with all the crystals you could ever want, and you get a special 50,000 point bonus. I also like how points are just dollars in this game, so currency is alive and well. I guess the USD took over planet Earth. Funny thing about this lever, I don't know if it's in this version, but I remember my version I played way back when I had the shareware thing, is if I kept pressing the fire button on the lever after I'd turned it once, it would activate another lever's color. This is definitely the earliest form of sequence breaking I'm familiar with. And if I kept doing it, it would do all three colors available, except sometimes there is only one or two switches. So if it does the third one, it would spawn the door somewhere randomly opened in the middle of the map somewhere? I don't know. It was a weird time, full of weird things. It's not the only DOS glitch I'm familiar with that I just thought was part of the game, but I've learned a lot since then. I noticed that in my original playthrough, since no one tells me anything, is that my audio is all screwed up, but that's just my old copy being stupid. Whatever. It's all good in thy neighborhood. Apogee/3 Seemingly the only company untainted by the ravages of time. Not that I would know. But, you got id, which is owned by ZeniMax. Epic being Epic. Yeah. Was there another one? I don't know. But, yeah, hopefully get more random stuff like this. I was also debating this, because with the HD one, you have, this level editor, but they don't really have an episode editor. And also, they have, a secret level in episode 4, but a completely different gameplay. So, I'm not ready to LP that yet. I've tried it out. I just did it halfway. just last night. It's okay. You get these treasure chests, and you get the key in the level, and then you can open them. That's it. But what is interesting is the way the points come out of the work. It's either 1,000, 2,000, or 5,000, and there seems to be some slight RNG in how it works, but it's not so much RNG as it depends on which frame you touch them in. So, if you want to see like a high score run as a speed run, I imagine they'd be taking advantage of that, or rather they'd be taking advantage of the random fruits, which, by the way, the HD doesn't also do. It actually has 3 specific parts of the level in which fruits can spawn, which is better for having a high score board in general, as opposed to just waiting out these random fruits. But also, you get the random fruits in this game in the hub, which is kind of funny. Anyway, this all just means the play is going to be different, no matter how many times you play it. Just little by little. You may have not have known that when I go into the hub, the top screen, I think part of that background's a little randomized too. Just a little bit, though. It's very subtle. I didn't notice it at first, but it's slightly randomized. It's not random enough that you need to care, but it's just something I thought about, and I think maybe that is randomized. Never knew what RNG in game was yet. I mean, I knew what random was, but I didn't consider how one would code random elements back then. Considering computers don't technically do anything random, because anything involves a decision is something that can't be computed. That's why you shouldn't rely on artificial intelligence or algorithms, but don't tell people that. They'll think you're not worshipping the computer gods or something. See these upside down spikerinos? Some of them fall, some of them don't. And there's also upside down ones too, but they can't fall up. If they do, someone modded it, and I should be very mindful. I don't know what's up with this, but it looks like there's like a tuba that's trying to suck me in. You can get away from it, but it's really weird. There's always going to be a bunch of these elevator lift things. You can tell which way they're going because the one upside down looks like this, and the one left and right looks more like a different. They're different. You might also notice that there's plenty of Mario references in this game. Well, I mean, besides the subtle. I mean, there's some really obvious hints. There's some Mario inspiration. But this game was made in '91, so I mean, Mario was at the peak hype of its original fan base, what with Mario 3 and Mario World being around. It's like, yeah, what could be better, right? So, a lot of early DOS games, when they're making platformers, was just, appealing to that. Especially since they couldn't be a Sonic Light, unless you're Jazz Jackrabbit, in which case, good job. Really, good job. I'll get to that. I know people might be asking me for the other DOS games that I'm going to have to LP again, and the answer is yes. Give me time, because I want to make sure they're not glitching up still. It takes like a few tries to determine whether the game is broken in a way that's not accessible for viewing or not. You can't always know that. I remember the first time I did that with Spirit Destiny's playthrough and realized the game broke like part way through my recording. And the thing is, it wasn't a DOS box glitch, it was just an ordinary DOS glitch, and I never did figure out what the hell was wrong with it, but yeah. To play it normally, though, I've got something I might have to consider, which is the other reason I haven't done HD. Like, should I be doing source ports? A real question here. I'm talking about games designed for source ports, not source ports for games after the fact. Like, mods that are meant for a source port, that's perfectly fine. But the original game for a source port gets its stuff modified. Well, we'll get to that. It's not really a game like this, which I've done so many times. I seem to play through it like once a year. Touch this red mushroom for temporary invulnerability, I guess. But also anything you touches that's capable of dying will start dying. Although what you might not know is that poison mushroom that insta-kills you while you're in red mushroom mode, it gets rid of it. This doesn't seem like it matters much in episode 1, which is what we're doing. But I was just replaying episode 2 and seeing like, yeah, that could be useful. You also got these sentient mine carts, so Yeah, they go back and forth in due time, my friends. In due time. Yeah. Something. What else? Oh yeah, we got these hidden blocks that generate the moment you bang your head into them. Unlike Mario has the excuse of using his hand, I'm pretty sure Milo is using his fucking head. For once. We got reverse gravity in this game. That's the neatos. You are probably going to be in a situation where you need to be able to, like... A lot of these power-ups, you're going to need to be very careful about how you use them. Or you might be in a situation where you're soft lock and you have to restart the level. For this playthrough, I'll be doing 4 levels of video. I'll do that with the other 2 episodes too. And there's another game similar to this, which I'll do in the same way in kind. When you've collected, like, did I just rip off the stop sign from its sign? When you take it, everything stops. Pretty much everything. You can walk through it. But be mindful of the timer, because then it's going to start moving again and it'll fucking hurt. I'm not sure what kind of dinosaur it is. It's some kind of bipedal Tyrannosaurus Rex thing. Never did figure that one out. Oh yeah, those bonus egg things. I guess they're eggs? I mean, I shoot them. It doesn't matter what order you shoot them in, but it does matter that when you shoot one, it turns into the next letter. So the order will matter only if you're in a situation where you're not collecting the letter immediately after shooting said egg. You can also just collect the egg. But you get all bonus in a row, and you get 10,000 points. I'll be trying to do that as often as possible. Not, less often is me trying to get all the treasure chests, because it might not be worth it. But I'll try to get all the bonuses. Bonus is, if they're relevant. It won't matter much. There's the air tank or oxygen tank that seems to supply a breathable atmosphere. I don't know who left those in there. But if you shoot it, it's an instant death. So don't go shooting all willy-nilly if you see it in front of your face. Every level has one, so you're capable of killing yourself in that way. Like, that seems like it'd be a fun idea, is just to try to find where all those are and just shoot them and be like, oh! And then you do what any human does when they run out of oxygen, is you start, well, it looks like you're inflating, but what's really happening is all the stuff inside you is spacing out due to the lack of air pressure, and then you die. It's not fun. If someone's ever died in deep space without being able to breathe, I have no idea if their body would ever be found, but I was just thinking, wait a minute. What if their corpse floating away in space eventually landed on some remote planet, and then from person's remains, I know this is grotesque, however, from person's remains, maybe life could spawn from someone's remains. I'm absolutely serious about this. Like, it'd just be a low chance, though, depending on how terraforming works, but the closest chances we have of that are just like, what? We'd have to check some other moons in the solar system, really. Because Mars seems like it might be a no-go, even though we keep trying to make it a go. But there's a lot of moons on Jupiter. We can check that out. Oh, and Saturn. That's got a lot of moons, too. I'm not sure why there's also water in the caves, because if you take the oxygen... well, you know, it's not going to be... I shouldn't expect too much from physics in a game as basic as this. Definitely a trademark George Broussard game, you know, without the R, to be hilarious. Look at my lime green popsicle switch. Yeah, I don't know. Like, a lot of these, it's questionable to even call them caves. So, my thought is that they're, abandoned mines, right? So, someone was mining the caves originally before I got here and forgot about it. So I'm just screwing around picking up their work. Not doing really work, just, braving the dangers of Altair, the Altair system. Getting the 10K, much better than 4K and 8K, I'm sure. By the way, the highest resolution I use really is the 1080p for anything. I don't think in my life I'll ever need anything higher than that, unless I'm like at an IMAX theater. Anyway, I'm saving the game now. I guess I'll mention this. You can do the levels in any order you want. Practically, I say practically because that's not always possible to do, just because of how the hubs are designed. This is only really important in episode 3, but I just figure you should know. So you can just do other levels in whatever order, which is important for when you're getting, stocking up on ammunition and junk. All right, bye.